All right, with that, let's talk about my subject today. And it ties right into a song of the day. And the songs of the day this week have all been about making the most of your dash, taking action, getting things done, being the difference in your own life versus being pushed along by life. Could have definitely included, we didn't, we could have definitely included The River from Garth Brooks in this mix, right? But today's song is by Poets of the Fall, who I really love. And this song is called Where Do We Draw the Line? And a lot of times when you look up a song, you can find like it on Song Facts or something, somewhere like the band or the author was interviewed and says this is what the song means. I couldn't find that. And I derive a lot of meaning along the vein that we've been talking today. But I looked up what people said about it in comment sections and stuff like that. And people say everything from kind of that vein of things to, hey, you know, what this song's about is a guy whose girl has left him and is already with another guy, but she hasn't said the words yet and he's just waiting for it to happen. I guess it can be anything that you want it to be. Any good music is poetry, and this one's got to be poetry. It's a band called Poets of the Fall. And poetry is subject to interpretation. But what it got me thinking about is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So we'll let the song be what it is, and we'll fade into it at the end of the episode. And I think it's a beautiful song. But I'm going to ask you a question. Where are you going to draw your line? With everything going on in the world and everything that will continue to go on in the world, where are you going to draw your line? We had a great example of somebody drawing a very firm line today in my buddy John Dowie of Dowie Farms. So we have our new kid coming. We're homeschooling. Kid's not born yet. I'm not doing this. I'm not putting my kid there. I'm not letting these people program the mind of my child, period. That's drawing a line. What's your line? Where do you care enough that you say no more? Where do you, to quote the Bible, say, to hither thou shalt come and no further? Where is it? And what do you do to effectively draw the line? Because, see, I see people all the time talking shit on social media about what they're going to do about the government, and we're going to do this, and we're going to hold them accountable. And I just laugh and think, man, freebasing heroin is bad, but freebasing hopium is worse. Because hopium is a drug that makes you believe that you have a solution outside of yourself, and you don't, and therefore you fail to act. And all you do is get pushed further and further back by life. Because liberty goes on a sliding scale, folks. It's not static. Either you're advancing your individual, independent liberty, or life is taking it away from you. Because you haven't drawn the line. We talked about this some this week. With moving, if you need to. There are some things that are being done in some places where you have a choice. Become a felon, or move. Now, I believe that if we can be pushed far enough, whatever their version of law is, we will violate it. We will be called upon. We will be called upon to break laws. And I don't mean just little ones either. I mean, we may reach a point where we are called upon, within the core of our being, to act in open rebellion against tyranny. But I also think, much like our founders, it should be a last resort, not a first choice. The founders, and I don't idolize the founders, for those who think I do, but the founders did do all that they could to come to an agreement with the king. And the king basically said, piss off. You want the blunt and honest response was piss off. I'll do what I want, shut up, and serve me. So that point was reached. But much like the founders, I think if we mean what we say, when we say we are peaceful people who believe in liberty and rights, we must do all we can to draw the line in a peaceful manner. Sometimes that means New Jersey sucks, I'm out of here. And people say, well, it's not so easy. No one said it was easy. Where will you draw your fucking line? When will you say, I'm done being pushed around? When will you say enough is enough? When will you stop making excuses for the things you know you shouldn't do and say no more? And even if you say, okay, I put myself in a position where I have to do these things, I'm going to start right now, today, walking in the right direction so I can stop. Where will you draw your line? Or will you continue to say, oh, wait, one day we're going to rise up, and you're not going to do shit, and nobody around you is going to do shit, and it's not going to happen. or the boot is going to be so hard on the neck, the amount of bloodshed necessary to draw the line then will be unfathomable. Or you can man up, woman up right now and say simple things. I'm drawing the line at my children. You will not program my children. End. Full stop. Period. No more. You will not program my children. It's hard. I don't care. You have two choices. You know what the education system is today, don't you? I mean, you do know. You're not pretending anymore that your children go to school to get a good education so they can do anything they want. You do understand that they're being programmed by the will of the state to serve the will of the state. And you do understand that if you keep sending your children there, they're being taught to hate your values. And in the end, they'll reject you because you stand for something that they oppose, because they've been taught to, because they'll spend more time being trained, not taught, trained to deplore your values than they will have spent with you. So don't be shocked when your 22-year-old turns his back on you and everything you believe in because somebody else was the one that instilled values in them. We already deal with the fact that your kid's going to grow up and be rebellious against you. Of course they are. They are their own person. They are their own man, their own woman. They should be. It's not your job to shape their decisions. It's your job to instill true moral values within them. Work ethic, basic morality, an understanding of what equality actually is versus equal results. That's your job, not the state's. If you subcontract out that responsibility, the entity you subcontract it to will do what's in its best interest, not yours. Draw the line. If you're in an abusive relationship, when will you draw the line? If you have a job that doesn't respect you, when will you draw the line? If you are letting your life waste away and instead of creating, just reacting, when will you draw the line? Where? When? How? Are you just going to sit and let life kick you in the head? Are you just going to sit and let life push you around? Are you just going to be a soft-ass pussy for the rest of your life? Or are you going to reach a point where you say, that is it? That is it. And I know I can't go from weakling to Superman overnight, but I'm going to start lifting weights. It's an analogy, or maybe it's real, depending on the situation you're in. When are you going to look at yourself in the mirror finally and say, you know what, you're a fat ass? You're a fat ass. Talking to yourself, dude, you're a fat ass. You're killing yourself. You're destroying your liver. You're destroying your kidneys. You're destroying your heart. You're wasting the gift of life. When are you going to look at yourself and have that moment and say, you know, I know exactly what needs to be done. I don't like it. It won't be easy at first, but it will be worth it. And draw the line and take that stance. I don't care where you draw the line. All of us have places in our lives where we're letting things be done to us and we don't have to. Are you in a prison cell? I don't mean metaphorically now. Are you in a prison cell where you can't get out and you get no choice? They tell you when to eat, when to sleep, and when to shit. You get 1 hour on the exercise. Is that you? No, then shut up. Shut up about what you can't do. I don't want to hear it, and nobody else does either. Nobody wants to hear your weak-ass, moist-ass argument about why you can't. What we want to hear is, I'm drawing the line on this thing or these things. And I mean it now, and these are my actions that go with it. I'm drawing the line on a state like New York, taxing the shit out of me, stealing my money, and telling me I have to stay home. I'm moving to Florida. Or somewhere else. I'm drawing the line. I'm drawing the line at, I'm not letting these sons of bitches put these chemicals into my children, and I'm not buying their shitty food and letting my children eat it anymore. I'm not putting high fructose corn syrup into my kids. They need treats. Then make one. Make one. Use real freaking sugar or honey. It's not that hard. Cut it in half and use stevia. They'll never know. Draw the line at your children, not just their education, but their nutrition. Draw the line. Because my kid doesn't conform to reality, I'm not going to give them speed, which is what all these ADD medications are, that somehow people like me, when I was a kid, got by without and became what I am. Am I not good enough? Are you sitting there looking at your kid? Well, gee, if I don't give them Adderall or whatever the hell shit, Prozac or whatever they're giving him now, whatever it is, he might end up like Jack Spirko. That would be freaking terrible, wouldn't it? Serial entrepreneur, very successful, lots of money, has anything he wants in his life. That would be freaking awful. And you know what? If they medicated me, and I'm glad the medication wasn't there, because my parents didn't have the spine to have drawn that line. I'm asking you, don't let them do to your kids what they would have done to my generation of kids if they had the chemical at the time. Draw the fucking line. No more. And this is not about a ballot box. This is not about holding them accountable. You can't hold them accountable for anything. I turned off talk radio, stopped listening to these asshole parrots. All they are is one side of the dichotomy designed to keep you in line. You're supposed to draw the line. No more. The end. There's only one person you can truly hold accountable in this world. And if you want to see him, go look in the mirror. And step up. And wherever those lines need to be drawn, don't wait till Monday. Don't do it over the weekend. Draw the line today. With that, it's been Jack Spirko with another edition of the Survival Podcast.